Good afternoon. Fade to Black breaking news for this Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. All right. What a great week we've got coming up on Fade to Black. Last night we did our Alaska trip recap special. That was a lot of fun. Tonight, Christopher Dunn joins us, Ancient Egypt Tech. Tomorrow night, John Greenwald Jr. of the Black Vault is with us. Elizondo and a tip. Thursday night, the one and only Don Schmidt is with us. And we are going to unravel the Roswell mystery. And all of that is Thursday night. And there you go. I learned something today, by the way. I went out and did my morning ride. And I got all messed up herding what appeared to be, well, I found out later, geese. Thought they were ducks, whatever. Not whatever. I mean, I don't know the difference. Anyway, and I learned a group of geese is called a gaggle. Yeah. You want to see the video? Head over to social media. All right. Yeah. A gaggle of geese. By the way, when I was in Alaska and Canada, I was reading all the news reports and my friends, and it was 110 degrees here in Los Angeles and the fires that had broken out, and I'm in another country. And I arrived back in LA and I get to Palmdale, and Palmdale is a balmy, like 75 degrees. I was like, where did all the heat go? And it's gone today. Well, it's coming back next week. But this morning with my gaggle of geese video, you see I'm wearing a full face helmet because I rode this morning when it was 50 degrees. I had thermals on, layers of clothing, my heavy black leathers, my full gloves. These spots are going to disappear if this keeps up. I had to wear full gloves today. Yeah, freezing. Yeah, full face helmet. Okay, let's get straight to it. On this day in history, 1976, NASA publicly unveils its first space shuttle, the Enterprise, during a ceremony right here in Palmdale, California, right down the street. Yeah. On this day in history, 1976. The 747 that they put the Enterprise on and flew to Florida, right? That 747 sits right down the street, still has the mounts on the top for the space shuttle. All right. Fader fact. Didn't know this. Pando, the world's largest living thing, is an aspen tree located in the Fish Lake National Forest in Utah. Pando has an estimated 47,000 stems that appear to be individual trees, but in fact are all connected by a root system that spans 106 acres. That's insane, and that is your fader fact. All right, let's get to the breaking news. This broke this morning. It was just a strange headline. At least 9 people were killed and 2,800 wounded in an attack that targeted pagers. Let me repeat that. Pagers. I haven't seen a pager in person 35 years. Maybe, but pagers still exist. Pagers that were held by members of the militant group Hezbollah across Lebanon earlier today. Recently, Hezbollah operatives were instructed to go low-tech and dump their iPhones, get off the internet, and disconnect their CCTVs, and switch to using pagers. Investigators had no immediate word on how the pagers were detonated or if explosive had somehow been sneaked into each pager. I'm still, I've seen the videos and it's crazy. All right. TikTok was in federal court yesterday fighting for its survival as a January deadline looms that could put the app out of business in the U.S. After several hours of questioning, it was difficult to tell which way the court is leaning at the moment. A panel of 3 judges from the U.S. District Court of Appeals for D.C. Circuit appeared dubious of TikTok's plea that free expression surpasses the national security concerns of Washington. That's because TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is based in China, an adversary of the United States. In April, President Biden signed a law that gives TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, 90 days to find a non-Chinese buyer or be banned nationwide. I will keep you posted. Generative artificial intelligence uses 30 times more energy than a traditional search engine, warns researcher Sasha Lucioni, on a mission to raise awareness about the environmental impact of the hot new technology. Recognized as one of the 100 most influential people in the world of AI by the American magazine Time back in 2024, the Canadian computer scientist of Russian origin has sought for several years to quantify the emissions of programs like ChatGPT. According to the International Energy Agency, the combined AI and cryptocurrency sectors consumed nearly 460 terawatt hours of electricity in 2022, 2% of the total global energy production. Although Microsoft and Google have committed to achieving carbon neutrality by the end of the decade, the U.S. tech giants saw their greenhouse gas emissions soar in 2023 because of AI, up 48% for Google compared to 2019 and 29% for Microsoft compared to 2020. Got to blame it on something, don't you? Starting next year, China will raise its retirement age for its workers, which is now among the youngest in the world's major economies, in an effort to address its shrinking population and aging workforce. The retirement age for men will be raised to 63 years. I got a scratch in my throat. I do. I got a scratch. Renee told me today, she says it's the pollen count in the Southwest that it's just soaring right now. And I believe it. Okay, anyway, back to China. All right. The retirement age for men will be raised to 63 years and for women to 55 or 58 years, depending on their jobs. The current retirement age is 60. Man, I have got a scratch. I never do this, do I? Pollen. All right, where am I? The current retirement age is 60 for men and 50 for women in blue collar jobs and 55 for women doing white collar work. By 2035, China is projected to have 400 million people over the age of 60, larger than the entire population of the United States. In 2023, China's population shrank by 2 million people. We don't really know how the reactions are going on right now with China because all of their social media is censored. All right, let me see if I can get through the news. Japan is set to break new ground in the world of computing by launching the construction of the first ever Zeta class supercomputer next year. Air quotes. Zeta class. Expected to be fully operational by 2030, this supercomputer will be 1,000 times faster than today's most powerful machines. The computer is expected to cost more than $750 million. The new machine is designed to operate at zettaflops speeds, a scale of performance never before achieved. Now, to put this in perspective, the most powerful supercomputers today operate at exaflop levels, capable of performing just over 1 quintillion, that's 1 followed by 18 zeros, by the way, calculations per second. A zettaflop supercomputer, on the other hand, will be able to handle 1 sextillion, that is 1 followed by 21 zeros, calculations per second. All right. Finally, I'll leave you with this. You ready? Vaping appears to be dulling the brains of college students. All of this according to a new study. College students who vape have lower cognitive function scores than those who don't. Researchers reported everything over the weekend at the American Neurological Association's annual meeting in Orlando, Florida. And the more students vape, the lower they score on tests of learning, memory, problem solving, critical thinking, all of that, according to these researchers. Now, students who vaped 10 to 20 puffs per day had scores 9% lower than those who did not vape or smoke, while those who vaped more than 20 puffs a day had scores nearly 14% lower, researchers found. Now, my question is, who paid for the study? Asking for a friend. Seriously. There you go. There's all the Fade to Black breaking news that you need for this Tuesday, September 17, 2024. Fade to Black breaking news is produced by Renee Neumann. I've got a scratch in my throat. Renee says it's pollen. She's my news producer. I got to go with what she says. I feel fine. I feel great. My cognitive skills have not been interrupted. Tonight on the show, Christopher Dunn is with us. We're going to be talking about ancient Egypt tech. All of that and much more. But for now, all I've got is Go Backley Tappy.